Hello, welcome back to Fox Beats Fire. Today we're doing a Let's Make and we're going to be making a YouTube bot. Now, disclaimer before I get onto the video. Just because you can do this doesn't mean you should. And if you do it, you might get in trouble, or to be honest, I know for a fact that this particular one we're going to be making, whilst it will generate views on the YouTube videos, the YouTube algorithm will spot that there's something dodgy going on and it's going to take those views right back off you. So just don't use it. It's a fun project and it's just for fun. It's not actually for getting views on your YouTube videos, even though it kind of half works. But don't use it. Right, so with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and have a look at how we're actually going to do this. And I'm going to be using Python because of a library on Python that allows you to access web information really very easily. And we're going to be coding in Visual Studio Code because that's my favorite editor. I use it generally for scripting languages and for web. I like it for web. Right, so go ahead and open up whatever editor it is that you're using. I'm using Visual Studio Code, as I said, and I've actually made my Python file already, and I've called it bot.py. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to import the Python libraries that we're going to use to make it, and the library that we're going to use to be accessing the internet functionality is called Selenium. If you don't know how to do the imports and you don't know how to use Python or how to use pip install, go ahead and look that up because this isn't a tutorial for Python, this is just a Let's Make for this particular project. So what we're going to do is we're going to import, we're going to go from, and then Selenium, like that. So we're going to import, and then we're going to import WebDriver. And you are going to have to install a WebDriver, I've already done that, and if you look that up on the internet, you should be able to find it no problem. But basically what the WebDriver is going to do is that allows you Selenium to communicate with a browser. So you're going to need to save that onto your PC somewhere. It's like a download. And depending on which web browser you're using, you're going to need a different access file from the internet. So make sure you download the correct one. So from Selenium, we're going to import WebDriver, and then we're going to import time. Last thing we're going to import is from range, or random, we're going to import range. Down there, cool. That should be all the imports we need. Then what I'm going to do is we're going to create an integer, and this is going to be called refresh time. And then call it underscore time. And I'm going to make that equal to 10 seconds. So basically that's going to be how often we want one of the browsers that we're setting up to refresh. So that's going to determine how quickly whatever website or YouTube video you've got here or that you're getting views for is going to generate the views. The smaller that number is, the quicker the refresh rate will be. Then we're going to create a list, and we're going to call it browser list, because we're going to need several browsers, or we're going to want several browsers, and we can do it like that. That's just the syntax in Python. Now what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to actually create some browser objects that we're going to open up and save to variables. So if I call the first one browser underscore 1, and then we're going to make it equal to, and then it's going to be WebDriver, and then you're going to .chrome, or whichever one it is that you're using. And then you're going to give it some brackets, and in there you're going to give it the link or the file path to the file, the WebDriver that you downloaded for that browser. I know for a fact I've got it saved on my Ctrl-V for the sake of the video that's what it is. So that's going to go and find my WebDriver and access the functionality based on the file path. Then what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate that twice because I want 3 web browsers running. And again, the more web browsers you've got, the more sort of control over how the bot works you have and how often it refreshes the page, etc., how effective it's going to be. So I'm going to make 3 browsers. You'll see what I mean once it actually gets going. And then what we're going to need to do is we're going to add each of those browsers to the browser list. So we're going to go browser list dot append, and then in there we're going to put, come on, browser 1, and then we're going to, don't need a semicolon in Python. And I'm going to duplicate that, just like we did previously. I'm going to go browser 1, 2, and browser 3. Cool. So now what we need to do is now we need to actually open each one of these browsers. And I could do that manually, but I'm going to do it in a for loop just because it's cleaner and it's better code. So I'll code practice. So I'm going to go for, and then I'm going to go browser in browser list. Come on. There we go, browser list, and then we're going to go browser dot get, and this is where we need to give it the URL of whatever it is that we want to load up and refresh over and over again. So I'm going to go, and I've got my personal YouTube. It's not a video, I don't want to use my actual videos, but I've got the URL for my YouTube channel main hub, if you want to call it that, and I'm going to paste it into there. Don't forget to put your quotation marks around that. and that's now going to open up each one of the browsers. So you'll end up with 3 instances of Chrome, in my case, opening that particular page up in each one of the instances. Then what we can do is we're going to write the code to actually refresh those and generate the views. So we're going to go while, and I'm going to use a while true because I want this to run until I tell it to stop. And I'm going to go while true, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a random number so that it accesses a random one of the browsers each time, or the browser instances each time. So we're going to go browser, browser underscore num equals, and then we're going to use the rand range class. So it's going to be rand range, and we're going to give it 0 because we want it to be between 0 and the length of the browser list. So we're going to go len or len, and then we're going to put browser list in there, just like that. And next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to refresh the page. So we're going to go browser list. Where is it? Browser list, and we're going to give it browser num because it's going to get the random number for each time it iterates through. That's down there. Then we're going to go dot refresh, give it 2 brackets. Oh no, and that should work absolutely fine. But we don't want it to just do it constantly because it's not going to give itself time to actually refresh. So that's why we've imported the time library as well. Because what we're going to do is we're going to go time.sleep. I cannot type today. Time.sleep, and then we're going to put refresh time in there. So it's going to wait 10 seconds because that's the value that we've given refresh time up here, and then it's going to run it again, and it's going to refresh the page again. But before I run time.sleep, I'm actually going to put a little print in here so that it can tell us what it's doing, and we're going to go browser number, and then we're going to put comma, and we're going to put browser num, and the comma, and I'm going to write has been refreshed. And I'm going to put spaces in there to clean up the output. Give that a save, and in theory that should run. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it like that. So basically that's going to open up 3 browser instances. It's going to add them to the list. No, it's not. I'm talking rubbish. What it's going to do is it's going to create 3 browser items or variables which link to the WebDriver. It's then going to add those to the browser list. It's going to open 3 instances of the browser to a predefined URL, web URL, and then whilst ever you want it to, until you basically tell the program to stop by closing the program down, it's going to refresh those browsers, or one of those browsers, randomly every 10 seconds. So I'm going to open up a command prompt now, and I'm going to run this. So CMD. If you don't know how to do command prompt stuff, you can follow along with me, or you can just look it up on the internet dead quick. Maybe I'll do a command prompt tutorial at some point as well. And we're going to go, because I know where it is, we're going to go cd documents, and then we're going to go cd python, and we're going to run, python and a bot.py. And fingers crossed this is going to run. Okay, so it's opened up one of the browsers there. So open up another browser, and I'm going to go ahead and shrink that one and put this over here so we can see all 3. Nope, I don't want that. There we go, so we can see all 3 browsers there. And there you go, so browser number 2 has been refreshed. And in another 10 seconds, or another few seconds, one of these browsers is going to refresh again. Come on, any second now. There you go, so browser 1 has been refreshed. I'm going to let it do another couple of times, and then I'm going to stop the program, just so you can see what's going on a bit better. Browser 2 has been refreshed. Which one do you think is going to be next? Come on, let's see browser 1 refresh. I haven't seen that one refresh yet. There you go, browser 1 has been refreshed. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the program now because I don't want it to run and get me in trouble with YouTube. But that is pretty much how it works, and it's really not that difficult of a project. It's with the Selenium library that you can import there, it's really quite easy. And once you've got your WebDriver in place and you've sort of looked up the syntax for some stuff, you can kind of do what you want with it. I could have, if my computer was good enough, I could have like 50 instances open, and I could have one of them refreshing every like 3 seconds. So you get quite a lot of views generated out of that. But again, I can't stress this enough. Don't do it, because not bad. It's not good. It's bad. It's unethical. Don't do it. Thank you very much for watching. If you like my content, if you like the video, feel free to like and subscribe if you want some more of it. Otherwise, don't worry about it. It's fine. And I hopefully will see you in some of my other Let's Makes and my other tutorials. Thanks for watching.